Love lives here.
So, you know what? It is my honor to introduce our speaker today. We went from classmates to colleagues. So this is Reverend Laura Hallett. She is a professional educator. She is a curriculum designer, an artist, an author, and illustrator of 6 books. She regularly speaks and conducts workshops. She leads spiritual retreats. And teaches classes on meditation and transformational spirituality. Currently, Reverend Laura is a senior minister at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. Guess who's there today? So, yes, I've been knowing her since when? 2014. So let's give a round of applause and welcome Reverend Laura Hallett.
Thank you. It is, am I on? Okay. It is a wonderful pleasure to be back here with you. The last time I spoke, I was in the big room over there, but I am loving what you guys have done with this room here. The vibe is just incredible. Hold it up a little bit. Okay, how's that? There we go. And as Reverend Sonia said, Jeff is in Las Vegas right now. My community was happy to hear that he was coming, but they were overjoyed to know that Ed was coming with him. That's about right, isn't it? It's pretty much the way it goes for Jeff. But both Ed and Jeff did their practitioner training at Vegas. They were students of mine at the time, and it's been a joy to be there. Well, when we were singing earlier, one love, one life, one life, one love. No, one life, light, love, whatever. Eddie's song. Yeah, when we were singing Eddie's song, I don't know if you noticed, Eddie Watkins got his start at our center in Las Vegas. He walked in on a Wednesday night, and I was doing a talk called Life, Light, Love, and he wrote that song. So, yeah, so it was very cool. He wrote most of his songs that he's done while he was in Vegas for us, so it was wonderful to have him there. And so when you heard that, I was like, oh, I'm all chilled up with that. So, as Reverend Sonia said, I've written a book. I did a writer's workshop with Reverend Jeff, with Reverend Sonia Byrne. I'm sure you're familiar with her. She's been here a couple of times, too. And a couple of other people back in October. And while we were doing this writer's workshop, it was like 5 weeks of working together. I was working on a book for classes that I teach for ministerial school on creating and workshops and classes for adult learners. But at that same time in October, I was talking about abundance in my community, and so I decided to send out a daily email to my congregation with a spiritual practice on clearing money. I thought, what the heck? Let's try this. Let's put this in. I'm all about practice. Spirituality is really good. Principle's okay. But if you don't put it into practice, what good is it for you? So I'm all about the practice. And so this book is that. It's those 31 days of spiritual practices to help us clear away all of these things that we have around money, all of the issues that are not only for ourselves, for our families, but it's like a community thing, too. I mean, like a generational thing, a cultural thing. How many of you grew up hearing, we don't talk about politics, religion, or money? How's that working for us in this world? I think we need to talk about politics, religion, and money a little bit more in our world right now. So the first part of this thing that we're going to go through here today is this is actually kind of a workshop Sunday, a workshop where we're going to work through this, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk in your tables a little bit too. So on the first part of this, we're going to set an intention about what we'd like to experience through this process today. And so an intention is generally a positive statement. So we don't put words like don't or shouldn't or anything with a not in it, anything like that. Those knots just get us all tangled up. We don't put any of that in there. We keep it in present tense, so there's never any will. This is like, it's happening now. This is part of our power. It's happening now for us. We use words that move us, some kind of a passion or a powerful word, something that, like, when I say a word, it's like, ooh, yeah, that's a good word. I like to call them juicy words. So, finding those kind of words. So just think a minute right now with your current belief system about money, with your current financial situation. Just kind of quickly write down a sentence that you would like to set as an intention for today. Make it powerful, positive, and present tense. And use words like I, so it's personal. If we put we in there, that kind of releases us from responsibility. Like, well, the we will do it. I don't necessarily have to do anything myself. So on your paper there, on the first part there, just write a short sentence, 5, 6 words about what you would like to experience through this around money, around finances, around your belief system about money. Okay, now normally I would say something like, if you're comfortable sharing with your people at the table, do that. But here's the thing that I believe about comfort. Transformation doesn't happen when we stay comfortable. So share your affirmations at your table. Go ahead and read your affirmation. Go around the table and read your affirmations to each other. Or your intentions to each other. Okay, here's the next thing about changing conditions in our lives is we actually have to take a realistic look at what's happening in our lives. We have to look at our belief system. So when I ask that question, don't talk about money, politics, or religion, that might have brought up something for you. That might have brought up a message that you heard as you were growing up. That might be a message that's still currently in your life. It's often very beneficial to us to look at our belief system. And so on your worksheet there, I put a series of questions that are just prompting questions to think about what it is you grew up believing, what it is you currently believe, what it is that may be hindering some of your experience of affluence and prosperity in your life. So taking a look at those, what did you hear about money growing up? Who influenced you most about money? What do you believe? Do you believe money making is easy or hard? How do you feel when you look at your bank account? Do you think talking about money is taboo? Do you believe you have to work extremely hard to make good money? Those questions may resonate with you. There may be other questions in there. But let's just take a moment or two and kind of expel those hidden beliefs that we have about it. Try to get those out. Whatever it is that you think might be working in you that is blocking your experience of having money. And even if you have a lot of money, we often hear about people who are so unbelievably wealthy and they live like paupers because they're afraid to spend their money. That could be some of the problems too. So whatever it is for you around money, just take a few moments and write that down. Just to kind of like purge it out, get it out of our system right now. Okay, you may have more things to put down there, and that's fine. But we're going to do something a little physical now to expel that stuff, something that is actually a little more moving things out of our bodies because stuff gets trapped in us. The Buddhists believe that we store a lot of our, what they call samsaras, our scars, our issues, our ideas in our abdomen. And so we need to purge those out sometimes. So this is a wonderful technique that we're going to go through today, which actually comes out of Russia. It's called neurographics or neurographica, and it's about changing our belief systems around something. And so the first part of it is purging, getting this stuff out. So you have a piece of cardstock on your table, and you have a nice thick black marker. So you need to have those two handy. Right. Oh, you wrote on there. Do you want another? Would you like a clean one? Okay. Now, this only takes about 3 seconds. We want to make it fast and hard and get it out of us. And so as you were looking at those things that you just wrote about, your hidden beliefs or your things that you think may be holding you back, I want you to bring those to mind right now, and then I want you to take your pen, and I want you to scribble on this paper. And so it's going to look something like this. Watch me first. So I'm just going to go here, and I'm just going to scribble it on there and just get it on there. Like 3 seconds. That's all I want you to do, okay? Ready? Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We've purged it out of our systems now. Get that stuff out of us. Always important. Okay. So now the next part of this is about changing our belief patterns. And you know, here in Science of Mind, we believe in the power of affirmations. We believe that affirmations are a way that we can actually begin to change our thought patterns. Neurographics is about reprogramming the neural pathways in our brain. It was actually developed by a psychologist out of Russia. It's been going around for about 15 years right now. I've done several things that are like unbelievably transformative through this process. So that's why I wanted to bring it to you today. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start reading some affirmations, things that will help us reframe our belief system around money. And while I do that, I want you to thoughtfully now, that the first time we rewrote on our paper, we scribbled, we purged, we got it out. So now as I'm reading affirmations, and I have about 15 or 20 of them here, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to read an affirmation. I release all beliefs that no longer serve me and limit possibilities. And as I do that, I'm going to draw mindful lines now. Okay? As I read that affirmation, I would draw a mindful line. So the next one here, I let go of all fear and doubt, making space for success and abundance. I release all fear and doubt, making space for success and abundance. Draw mindful lines and just keep drawing them as I'm reading the affirmations. Okay? All right, so I've done the first two. My past does not define me. I am free to create a prosperous future. Scarcity has no place in my life. I embrace infinite flow of wealth. I dissolve all subconscious blocks and open myself to unlimited blessings. I forgive, release, and allow abundance to flow effortlessly into my life. Every time I let go of resistance, I make space for miracles. I choose to believe in my limitless possibility, attracting prosperity with ease. I trust the universe that supports me in achieving my dreams. Okay, now, part of our issue is we have these hidden beliefs, those things that we scribbled down first, and we're putting on top of that affirmations. But whenever our new affirmation hits up against one of our hidden beliefs, there's a conflict. And so the next part of this is to look for wherever those cross. So on your paper, you're going to have places where those purposeful lines are crossing on the scribble lines. The intersection of those two represents a conflict. What we're going to do now is we're going to round the corners to remove the conflict. Because we don't want the sharp edges, we want round edges. Because conflict can't stick on round edges, it sticks in corners. So we're going to round the edges. So here would be, I'll just do a quick one right here so you can see it, where I had things coming together. And so I make a nice round spot in there, nice and dark, smoothing it out. So it looks something like this on my paper there, that dark spot in the middle, where I've taken an intersection of the hidden beliefs and with the affirmations, and I've rounded it out and made it smooth. So look at your paper and find the places where you have intersections between the lines and smooth out those corners. Smooth out that conflict. Want another one? Okay. Smooth out the corners, smooth out the conflict. So there's no sharp points on there, or a few of them. You won't be able to finish this all during this time, but you can start to get a process of it going. This part of the process is called the harmonization. So we're harmonizing the hidden beliefs with these new affirmations that we're adding on there. And while you're doing this, you can repeat more affirmations to yourself to actually begin to reprogram those thought patterns. Things like, I am open to receiving wealth, love, and success in all areas of my life. Money, opportunities, and joy flow into me in expected and unexpected ways. I love this one. I align with abundance and bring infinite possibilities into my life. So as I said, you can continue on with this. We're not going to be able to get through the whole picture today because of our time limitation, but just find a couple of places where you've rounded the corners and have smoothed out the conflict, harmonized the ideas between the hidden beliefs and the new affirmations that you're bringing in. How many of you remember the joy of getting a brand new box of crayons? So I've got crayons here. There's different ones. I actually bought 120 packs of 6 crayons for you guys to have, like the kind you'd get in a restaurant. And they're sitting lovely waiting for you in my garage in Las Vegas. So I hit the store last night, and this is what they had. So you need to get some crayons out. I've given you some at the bottom of your worksheet on the back side. I've given you some representations of colors. Now, this is just one person's opinion of what colors might mean. They may mean something else for you. But for instance, orange is my color of the year. So orange represents creativity, enthusiasm, and a positive relationship with money for me. And so what you're going to do now is you're going to begin coloring in sections of your paper there. So when I take mine here, I can color it in. Let me just do this so you can see what I'm talking about here. So I can just color in a section of my page, and then maybe I might move on to some other idea about money. Like, for instance, I can't remember what I wrote. Blue symbolizes calmness, stability, and trust. Maybe I want to work on my trust issues around money. And so I'm going to put some blue on there. Maybe I'm going to add some green for abundance, growth, possibility, or yellow for optimism and joy. Ooh, maybe even a little red for energy and action, because, it's no good if we don't put it to work. And so go ahead and begin coloring in some of the sections based on those ideas that you had come to you as you were rounding, harmonizing your sections there. And so while you're working on that, I'm going to read a few more affirmations that I have here. There must be about 600 in my book, so they're thrown through everything. Money flows to me easily and abundantly. There is always more than enough for me. I am open to receiving unexpected financial blessings. I attract prosperity and success effortlessly. It is safe for me to have wealth and to enjoy it. Every purchase I make aligns with my values and desires. I trust myself to handle money with wisdom and care. And so as any of those resonate with you, you can write them down on the paper that I've given you. You might write them down on the picture even. Or if something occurs to you as you're coloring, jot down that affirmation. And sometimes we even want to bring more than one thing together in a section. So using the color red for energy and action, along with the color orange for creativity and enthusiasm. And then maybe even throw in a little yellow for optimism and joy. Kind of put all those colors in one section there, representing what you're trying to bring into your life as you're doing this. This coloring process and the affirmations is all about integration. It's all about bringing that into our body in a tangible way through the action of our hands and the motion of coloring. It actually brings us into our nervous system in a way that makes it a little more tangible and integrates those ideas more with us. And so once you're finished, and I know you're not all finished at this point, but you would take a moment and reflect on it. Take a moment and look at the drawing. See if the drawing is feeling complete. See if the section that you're working on feels complete. If it doesn't, you may need to round corners a little bit more. You may need to make the color more intense. By making the color more intense, you bring that emotion, the emotions and feelings that you've assigned to that color more into your experience by making the color darker and more intense. You may want to add more lines. Maybe there's some conflict that's happening as you're coloring that doesn't feel quite in alignment with what you're wanting to do, and you need to add lines to it to color in more ways on there. So there's lots of things you can do with that. But as you're reviewing it, then think about any kind of insights you might have gotten with that. And that's what I'd like you to share at your table here. What kind of old financial beliefs might have come up for you during the process of doing this? And how are you feeling about the situation now? I know this was a very quick process, and usually it takes about 3 hours to do one of these neurographic drawings, really spend some time with the emotions and the feelings that are coming up. But this is an opportunity for you to reflect on that now. So at your table, just go ahead and share anything that came up during the process. I mean, even if you think, well, this was a dumb thing, well, I didn't get anything out of it. Go ahead and share that with your table and see what wants to be spoken today. Okay, as we wrap this up here, this is just a brief example of how you can take ideas that we have, the hidden beliefs that we have, how we can begin to reframe those, and how we can get them out of our experience so that we're not letting those hidden beliefs dictate our future. When we take the time to examine what it is we truly believe about things, and we work diligently to reframe that, to have a different experience of it, then we can actually begin to transform our lives. What you just did today is about 4 different exercises in the book. There's exercises on setting intentions that take you through many steps more than what I did today. There's exercises on writing affirmations, on using affirmations. There is more detail about the neurographics in there, plus about 5 or 6 other. I'm into creative stuff, if you hadn't figured that out. I really love creativity. And I'm a former elementary school teacher, so you got it all. So anyway, I'm offering the book today for $15. $5 goes back to your center. So I don't believe in a 10% tithing consciousness. I believe in a 30% tithing consciousness. I'm also offering a class online on Zoom. It's an experiential book study. We'll do some of these kind of activities, and then you'll work with it for a week, and then come back and we'll talk about that. It's $89, and $30 of that goes back to your center. So again, 30% is a good tithing mark for me as far as things go for this. So I'm thrilled to offer that for you. I'll have the books back there, and we can do credit, debit card, or cash, either one, whatever you prefer. And so let's take this into prayer. Prayer is always one of the good things that we can do, and that's also in the book. There's a whole thing about how to do prayer, spiritual mind treatment around prosperity issues. So if you would, just take in a deep breath with me. And that breath just centers us in our bodies, aligning us physically, spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually as we breathe in and breathe out, connecting with that indwelling presence. And so right here and right now, I know that there is only one power, one presence, one divine, creative love intelligence. I know that one goes by many names and shows up in many forms. But right here and right now, I simply know it is God. And I know that truly God is all there is. The isness and the allness and the fullness of the divine resides right at the very heart of my being. It is who I am. It is whose I am. And it's why I'm here. And I see that same presence manifested in everyone before me. I know that presence of the divine shows up beautifully and individually as each one of us. I know that the perfection and the wholeness of God is right there where we are. And I know that the place on which we stand is holy ground, for the presence of God is right there with us all the time. And so knowing this truth and speaking this word, I now claim for each one of us an infinite flow of abundance moving into our lives, an infinite awareness of the abundance of the universe is moving into our consciousness right here and right now. I know that each one of us is that vessel through which God shows up beautifully and easily and effortlessly. And as we relax into that knowing, as we step out of the way and let God do what God does so beautifully, our lives shift and change and manifest abundantly in all areas. I am so, so grateful to know this. I'm so grateful to feel it. I'm so grateful to see it happening in the lives of each one of us present here, in the lives of this community, in the lives of this country. I know that we are all that place of consciousness and conscious connection right here and right now. I just simply release this word into the law, into that creative mind that always says yes, has no limits, no boundaries, and no limitations. I just simply let it go and I let it be. And so it is. Amen.